Have you been feeling extreme tiredness, exhaustion, tingling in the ears, or upsets at night, nightmares, strange dreams? Have you been feeling unusually drained and tired in a way that you cannot explain? Hello, everyone. My name is Ruth, and we're going to be looking at the Schumann Resonance, the solar flares, and Ascension predictions for 2026. In just the last few days, we had a massive Schumann resonance uptick. You see, the Schumann resonance is measured in Europe by certain instruments that measure the ozone atmosphere of the Earth. The ozone atmosphere connects to the inner core of Earth. So it's like a reflection. So they measure this atmosphere and they found that Earth runs on a base frequency of about 7.5 hertz, 7.9, somewhere there, 7 hertz roughly. Well, on January 6th, the Schumann resonance spiked to 54 hertz. Now, the Earth's inner core is affected by the sun, but it's also connected horizontally to our DNA. So it's like the sun and the earth get into alignment, and then the earth and humanity get into alignment. So when there's a solar flare or Earth's core goes up in frequency, it affects humanity. And that could be why you are feeling a little bit under the weather or very exhausted in these last few days. I want to see how all the crazy solar flares and all the crazy Schumann resonance spikes of 2025, what are they going to be doing or have already done for us as we move into 2026. So let's get started. Good evening, Richard. Thank you for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. We are going to be having Wednesday lives at 2 p.m. Part of the reason is because I am getting some help with my YouTube channel, and they're going to be assisting me in that area, becoming a moderator and all that rest. So join me next Wednesday at 2 p.m. and Sundays at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. How will the solar flares in the Schumann resonances spike in 2025, that spiked in 2025, how will they affect humanity in 2026? Let's take a look, and then I will explain a few more things. How will the solar flares and the Schumann resonances of 2025 affect 2026? Okay, we have the Tower card, and we have the Emperor card. These two cards means on the structural level, it affected our routines. It affected the way we do things. It affected our programming. It affected society's structural way of doing things. That is what the solar flares in the Schumann resonance actually affected. And I'm getting this is more the Schumann resonance over the solar flares. I was talking to my friend the other day, and I said to her, I feel like, especially in these last few weeks, everything that is out of alignment in our daily life is kind of screaming into my face, and it's saying, why are you still doing me? You know it doesn't work for you to keep doing this routine. You know that you don't like this job. You know that you don't like doing this activity. Why are you still doing it? Do you feel like the universe is asking you, why are you doing this? That could be because these solar flares and this Schumann resonance is upgrading the way we do things. It's causing us to look, it's like a divine message, and it's causing us to look and to say, it's time to transition. It's time to let things die that are no longer serving you. It's time to let go and to be reborn. I love this card because here's the angel of death, right? At his feet are bones. Behind him is his death sickle. And then there's a white horse and a message from spirit with the bird, an albatross, coming in to take you to higher ground, to better waters, to a better life. So the energy of the earth is rising in frequency. And normally it's supposed to be at about 7 hertz. And humanity, when connected energetically to earth, we also run in alignment with earth. But at this point, it seems that when the earth's frequency spikes, our nervous system has to spike with it. So we go through a tremendous purge or a tremendous upgrade, almost like a rapture, super fast. And our nervous system can't hang on. What happens during this time? It's a time of revelation. It's a time where, like I said, we realize what's no longer working for us. But you also might have bad dreams. You might have memories come up that need to be cleared. You might have traumas that you're reminded of and that you need to let go of. You might have relationships that you feel like you need to resolve. It's all part of growing into frequencies that are more aligned with divinity than aligned with toxic patterns of humanity. I hope I'm making sense there. All right, let's go ahead now and talk a little bit about NASA. Did you know that NASA, because of the solar flares and the geomagnetic storm, that's going on right now, as of January, today's the 7th, as of right now, NASA has grounded let me get the details, it stopped a whole entire project. NASA has, not that one. NASA has grounded an entire project because of the solar flares. $1 billion rocket was grounded. All right, let me play this for you. This is...
If you've been feeling soul tired, dizzy, and like your body just wants to stay in the dream realm today, you're not alone. We are in what feels like day 1,000 of a geomagnetic storm weather. KP5, 6, 7, you name it, all stacked on top of each other with elevated radiation on top. Your nervous system has been sitting in a cosmic pressure cooker, and it's starting to have an accumulative effect. So if you feel dragged out, emotional, unmotivated, or totally done with this earth school, that's not a personal failure. That's your system trying to process more charge than it was designed for in this density. And just to give some context to what we're feeling right now, NASA and the Blue Origin literally postponed the Escapade Mars mission because the solar radiation and the plasma environment were too unstable to launch into.
And that is by, you can find her. She is...
Storm.
I'm trying to pull it up here. Her name.
The same storm that is grounded.
I can't get her name, but she is... I'll try to post it in the comments when I get it because it's not working on my phone. But she is on Facebook. She follows the Schumann Resonance. And she just said that NASA put down $1 billion rocket because the energies of the cosmos and Earth are way too great. So let's take a look to see, what can you tell us about future projects with the Earth and this Schumann Resonance in 2026? Are we going to see more projects grounded? Are we going to be able to do more exploration, or will it be put on hold because of the rising frequencies of the Earth? Let's take a look. All right, work. Yes, this is the Ace of Cups, which is new energy, new beginnings. I'm getting the words exploration. And then I'm also getting here that there is a King of Cups. So it's looking like there's going to need to be more balanced in their approach to things. In the past, NASA has been able to do whatever they wanted at any time they wanted. They can send up rockets. They can explore the dark side of the moon with rockets. They did that last year. They sent rockets to the dark side of the moon. They did other explorations as well. But it's looking here like they're realizing the Earth is changing. And I don't think they quite understand Earth at its full capacity. And they're going to need to get more holistic, even possibly more creative and more spiritual in the way they start viewing Earth. They're going to have to bring possibly an interdimensional aspect to exploring the space outside of Earth or the atmosphere of Earth. They're going to have to start looking at new ideas. The way they have been formulating their concepts of how the Earth is, that it's a material plane and nothing else, is changing for them. And they're going to need to start aligning their actual instruments to be able to look at other realities other than just that this is a 3D Earth with a 3D atmosphere we call air. So this is positive. It's going to awaken the space age. It's going to cause astronauts and space explorers to really begin looking at what is Earth. And we can no longer fudge around, right, with assuming that we know everything. We're going to have to be open and creative and get a more holistic approach in understanding our atmosphere, space outside of Earth, and our Earth itself. Now, I want to ask, the psychics are saying that this is a time of tremendous toxic clearing. You're clearing memories. I can lie in my bed having had a wonderful day, and I turn off the lights, and all of a sudden these memories start popping up. Memories from childhood, deep buried, like I haven't thought about this for years. And I'm suddenly realizing I have to process. And yes, they're not always positive memories. I have to process it and let it go. I have to breathe into it or work with the violet flame and let it go. So if you're dealing with memories, if you're dealing with unpleasant experiences, I believe, and other psychics are saying, that there is like a massive purge that these frequencies are doing, and they're dealing with stored emotions and stored memories. So what has been purged from humanity the most in 2025? And what will be purged in 2026? Let's take a look. Thank you. So first we're looking at purging in 2025. Family and family matters. Home and family matters. The things in your life within your home that give you heaviness, the memories, but also anything in your home that has been dragging you down. It's been anything, once again, your routines, your structures, and your patterns within your home, and you can even say within your immediate workplace, like your work desk, your office, anywhere you do work, and anywhere you actually have a living situation. Those patterns and anything within you or within that traditional way of doing things that drags you down is being highlighted. It's time to let it go in 2025 because we can't take it with us into 2026. Truth, authenticity, being brutally honest, and self-protection, self-preservation. It's time we start listening to our bodies and begin protecting ourselves in a much more holistic fashion. It's time we stop following social norms and start setting ourselves up for success because we're listening to what we need, what makes us happy, to the routines that make us happy, to our physical body, to rest when we need to rest. Yes, our routines and our structures are being highlighted. Okay, so what's going to be purged in 2026? What's the majority of purging that's going to be done in 2026? Okay, we have fast-moving energy. We have Three of Wands, where you're headed, and the Empress card, your projects. In 2026, any negative words, anything that you believe or think about yourself and your work and your future is going to be purged. So if you speak negatively, if you are quick to doubt yourself, or if you're quick to cut off your worth, or if you're quick even to judge other people, that's going to be highlighted and intensified so that you can purge it. We are going to have your expansion really be put into a pressure cooker. Where do you want to go in life? It's like the universe is going to be asking you, what course are you on? And it's going to make us look at the path that we chose for ourselves. And it's going to make us reassess the path that we chose for us. So it's going to say, this is the course you chose. Is it still what you want? So the first thing that it does, it's going to look at our words and our beliefs about ourselves and our judgment toward ourselves and others, and it's going to highlight it. Is this really the person you want to be? And it's going to look at where the path that we chose. Number 2, it's going to look at the path we chose. Is this the path you want to go on? And then it's actually going to reveal some powerful, creative, beautiful opportunities in our life that we will have a choice to choose from. And this will be our abundance. It will be creativity. It will be the projects that bring you joy. It will be birthing. We might actually have a lot of babies incarnating into the earth at this time. We might have a lot of children rising up. We will definitely have divine feminine energy within everyone start that beautiful, nurturing, caring process. The Emperor's card just reminds me of a queen that is holistically focused on herself and those in her care. I'm going to be honest with you. I really do think the purging is going to be a lot more self-focused instead of so much more outwardly focused. So in 2025, it seems like the purging was more so in our everyday life as well as in our relationships or memories connected to relationships. Now it's going to be focused on you. It's going to be focused on how are you treating yourself? What do you believe about yourself? And are you truly on the path that's best for you? All right, let's do some more questions here. Will we see more frequency spikes or a solar flash in 2026? A frequency spike is like the Schumann Resonance spiking like from 7 hertz to 54 hertz like we had on January 6th. Will we have solar flares coming from the sun, spiking things? Or will we have a solar flash, like 1 or 2 big events that jumpstart, timeline shift, and even awaken our DNA in a massive, massive way? Will we have a rapture in 2026? Let's take a look. So we have the energy of the 4 of Wands coming up that flipped out. The 4 of Wands is the ley lines of Earth. The ley lines of Earth are going to be highlighted in 2026. I'm seeing underground ocean currents are going to be activated. A flow of water on the earth like never before. This is underground trenches. This could be exploration of hidden ocean trenches, hidden ocean tunnels. The exploration of water might rise in 2026. We're not going to have, as much of an intense frequency shift as we did in 2025. We're not going to have as many of these energetic exhaustion points that we've had, the spikes, okay? We're not going to have as much of a up and down that we had both emotionally, especially if you're a woman. There was a lot of emotional ups and downs where we felt a lot of the spikes, and I think it goes because of the hormones and the emotional energy. We feel a lot more. Okay. However, there is something about the moon cycles and something about the ocean water that we're going to start seeing shift, and I believe it's connected to the ley lines. I'm seeing a beautiful energy like coursing through the earth, but it's affecting the ocean and the moon. It's affecting the ocean and the moon. The moon might be more stabilized in 2026. Let's take a look. So I have the card of energy, okay? Energy, this would be definitely solar flashes, definitely solar input, energetic input coming in. So let's take a look. What does Spirit want to say about the solar? We have the surrendering, we have the Magician, and we have the 4 of Swords. Three of Swords. Okay, so there's going to be a release and ending to some of the intense energies. The magic of the universe, though, is going to be online. So I believe what was happening in 2024 and 2025, even in 2023, is there were spikes coming to Earth, and Earth was like going online, and it would rise in frequency and then come back down and rise. We're getting an end to this. We're getting a more consistent energy in 2026. And I'm hearing the words, not a pulse, but a hum. It's going to be like a hum, right? You, as a being of light, will be humming alongside Earth instead of jumping up and down with her spikes. You will be humming in tune with her in the ley lines. It's going to be very, very difficult if you are out of alignment with Earth or even your divine blueprint, the plan of humanity. It's going to be very difficult for you to exist happily. You're going to be pressured to get into alignment with Earth. If we have been seeing corruption exposed, in 2025, we're going to see it a lot more in 2026. Because what happens is when Earth spikes into a higher frequency, you actually connect to more love, more authenticity. But it was such a jolt, we often feel more tired, right? The light worker or the person aligned to love in a light can get tired. But when it spikes, it makes it really hard for those out of alignment. Okay, for those out of alignment to stay in corruption or negativity. So they actually turn miserable when the earth spikes a higher frequency as well. But it's challenging them, right? Corruption gets exposed a lot more when the earth's frequency is higher. But I'm getting in 2026. If we do get a solar flash, it's going to be a lot more intense, or it's going to be a little bit more magical, right? It's going to be a little bit more divine instead of so earth-based or sun-based. It's going to be a little bit more galactic or divine, angelic in its thrust to humanity. And it's going to come from a lot more of a interdimensional place. But Earth is going to start humming on a frequency connected to her ley lines, where it's just going to be a gentle hum of love, authenticity, and truth. And everything that's not out of alignment is going to start boiling. It's going to start exposing. It's going to start bubbling, and it's going to get very miserable. Is the Earth gaining spiritual dimension in 2026? And by this, I mean at an energetic rise in frequency so that we can access better and higher dimensions. So is the Earth becoming more interdimensional in 2026? And yes, I will get into interdimensional beings here in a moment. Is the Earth gaining spiritual dimension or an energetic rise in frequency with access to higher dimensions? Portals are being explored and turned online. This is interdimensional points of contact to other worlds. They're starting to be studied. They're going to be researched. And yes, some of them are going to be experimented and turned online. Absolutely. We're getting here. A lot of it depends on humanity's state of consciousness. Not everybody, or I do get an up and down. Earth's going to like go into an alternate dimension and maybe peek into other dimensions and come back. So it's not going to be a consistent interdimensional ability where other beings can just kind of like connect to ours and you like, oh my goodness, I feel like there's a shadow walking through the trees. I think it's, my grandpa who used to do the fields. You might not see always the other worlds. You might not always feel your grandma, but it's almost like a 50-50 where it kind of bleeds in and then bleeds out. You might get more sightings of like Bigfoot. You might get more sightings of spirit beings or more feelings of being connected to otherworldly realities. And yes, Earth is going to start bleeding over, especially at night. The darkness, there's something about darkness in the spiritual world that even beings, even like churches, and even beings of negativity, people who maybe worship negative beings, these good religion or bad religion, whatever you believe, okay? Many different kinds of religions believe that at nighttime it's easier to connect to the spirits. I remember when I used to be in church, if I wanted to really have an encounter with my angelic guides, I would stay up all night and I would pray. And about 2 or 3 in the morning, I would start singing and I could feel and communicate with them so much stronger. And that's how I actually built a connection with my spirit guides. As I would sing, I would call on their name, and I would stay up all night till about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And that's how my life started changing and becoming more woo-woo and more spiritual. So there's something there about the night. And it doesn't mean you need to stay up at night, but you might get more dreams. You might get more connection points. But definitely portals will be researched and possibly even turned online. The earth will be bleeding in and out of dimensional realities. Will we see or experience any interdimensional or extraterrestrial beings more potently in 2026? Will we see them easier? Will we see them with more vision, like more 3-dimensional vision? Okay, or are they still going to be just that presence, like a grandma in the background? Thank you. Let's take a look. All right, I have the 4 of Pentacles and the 7 of Cups. The 7 of Cups is she's looking, okay? She's looking, but she doesn't know what she's looking for. She has a lot of options, and she has too many options. So she's a little bit scattered, okay? In here, there's protection. There's a little bit of concern, that a little bit of fear, a little bit of I need to hold back, a little bit of self-protection. We have the King of Pentacles with Earth, the 9 of Pentacles, which is healing and healing entities or healing beings. And then we have the Star card, which is interdimensional, angelic, and good galactic presence and spirit guides. Presence as well, like beings. So the message coming in here is that you are going to see it if you're willing and if you're open to see it. But I don't think there's going to be a lot of shocking revelations if somebody isn't ready for it. I also feel that there's going to be only the healing beings, the beings of healing, the beings of goodness. I'm getting only good beings coming through in these interdimensional bleedovers. So I'm not getting any nefarious beings or anything that might harm you coming through. I'm definitely getting the beings that heal you at night, as well as your spirit guides, your guardian angels, and higher beings of light from other planets, other worlds that are much more advanced than us. These are the star people. These are the star people. Now, I don't believe that they will really appear unless people are really open and ready for them or willing for them to come through. So you can go to bed at night and say, I'm willing for my guides of light to reveal themselves to me for my best and highest good. You can connect with them more. If you feel connected to an angel or a guide, call upon them. Ask for their protection. Say that you're willing to learn about them. Because I'm getting here this caution of, they know that not everybody is ready to see them, and they will not force themselves upon humanity. And they do not want to force people into shock, because shock is a low frequency. So if, as these movies declare, and a spaceship comes out and everyone in the city goes into extreme panic and starts running, and they start trampling each other, that possibly is not going to be how beings of light, and if whether they come in spaceships or whether they come through portals, that is not how they want humanity to respond to them. Because, first impressions, they don't want humanity to start trampling each other in a scared, panicked riot. They don't want to cause world chaos. They don't want to just show up. That's the energy I'm getting from these cards anyway, right? I'm getting of, we want to come in peace. We want to come in partnership, and we want to come to assist you. We want to come because you called for us, not because we're here because you need a babysitter. We want to partner with you. What a beautiful, beautiful message. I have a story to share here at the end. I felt like I was visited by several guides. Any more messages, though? Okay, they are here. Interesting. We got the Five of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune. This is conflict. This is war. So things has changed with the frequencies of Earth. I'm seeing, I paused because I thought this was war. This is conflict. It wasn't. I'm seeing like this frequency dome over Earth. You know how you see in the movies and it kind of glistens? You look at Star Wars and they have these frequency shields and you have to punch in the numbers and and it shuts down and you walk through and then you punch in the numbers again and it comes back up. And it's kind of invisible, but it's like on a tingly, vibrating frequency. And if you touch it, you get thrown like 50 feet back. I'm seeing that. I'm seeing like there was a frequency shield that your guides, even some of your ancestors, the angels of light, they really had a difficult time visiting you unless there was like an actual open portal, or unless you exerted a lot of energy calling them in. Because when you call them in, you exert an energy and almost create a portal. When I was working in the church, I would do several things to connect to spiritual gifts, like when we would do the healing, or we would connect to casting out entities, or when I would just wanted to like see and talk to some of the angels. And I would always like walk in a circle or walk back and forth. And I would do the light language, right? The speaking in tongues. And I would literally sing or call upon them. What I was doing is I was like creating an energetic vortex. I didn't know it then. But I was creating almost this energetic passageway or this energetic frequency that they could and then at some point, it's like I would look and I'll be like, I would feel the presence, or in my mind, I could see an angel come through in my mind. So I think what Spirit is saying is, unless you as a human exerted energy in the past to actually create an energetic container, a space, a portal for them to visit you, it was hard for them just to come by and show up in the middle of the night and heal you when you're sick. You had to call, you had to create an energy. And it would happen in the church too. They would play the music. They play the drums and the music, and people would be singing and dancing. And then all of a sudden you could literally feel the energy in the room shift. And it was like, and they would say, Jesus walked in the room. But I know it was angels. I know it was angels walking in. Doesn't mean that Jesus didn't walk in, but I knew it was powerful beings of light, because the church singing and praising God and being in one accord and in unity would literally create a portal. So what I'm seeing here is that's how the beings could connect. They could only connect to us if we were actually calling and creating an energy to attract them, or to, it's almost like it was too intense. It would zap them if they tried to come through. It would paralyze them. It would kick them back. They would have a hard time, which could also be the reason why many Christians in the past hundreds and thousands of years have prayed to God and feel like their prayers aren't answered, because our prayers come on the wings of our spirit guides. They come from our spirit guides. They come from the angels. When you pray to God and you ask for money, you ask for something, some help in something, it comes from actual interdimensional beings. So many people say the prayers, God, can you please help me with this? But they didn't create an energetic space for it to happen. So the angels would, or the guides or the spirit beings would try to come through, and it's like they would get kicked back, and they'd have to keep working and they'd get kicked back. That's gone. That's been changed. Your spirit guides can come through simply because you think about them now. There is no more energetic frequency grid that's literally keeping help at bay. And I think that's what some of the psychics and mystics mean when they say the veil is thinner, or when they say we have first contact. They're seeing it in their mind that there's first contact. But what it is that it's just, they were always there trying to connect. But now the opportunity is a lot more available. So over Christmas, right after Christmas, I got really sick and I was having a hard time sleeping. But I actually would wake up in the middle of the night, and I would wake up to, it's very hard to explain, so follow me here. I would wake up in the middle of the night, 4 nights consecutively, and there would be beings in my room, but I couldn't see them. I just could feel them. Well, I would see them in my consciousness. So when I wake up from a dream, I go from dream to semi-consciousness, and then I sleepwalk or I do something, and then I wake up after I walked, okay? So here I was, and one of them was a little being about literally 3 or 2 feet tall, and it was at the side of my bed at my nightstand and setting up this cylinder thing with the cord, not a cord, but like a tube that you could stretch, and it was like a suction cup on top and a tube that came down and was going into the ground or into something. And I remember panicking in my dream, and it wasn't a dream though, it was like right in my room. I came into semi-consciousness and I could see them right where they were in my room, one of them right in my room. There were several other beings there. And I saw this apparatus right near my head at my nightstand. And I freaked out in my semi-conscious. Like, what are you doing? No, 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 no. And I woke up and I was sitting on the side of my bed, like holding this thing at bay, but I couldn't see it anymore, right? It kind of like diminished. And I was just holding it at bay, like, you're not doing this to me. I had the same dreams every night, and every time I would see the apparatuses in the same place. There was one there, one there, one there, and then one behind me. And it was like beings that had equipment of some sort. And I felt like in the dream, I felt like I didn't mind the beings being there. It felt like it felt normal for them to be there. But when they would bring the equipment in, that's when I would freak out, because my consciousness would become aware of the strange looking equipment, and I would freak out and snap out of the dream. And I remember I woke up and I always had like 3, they were always in the same spot, always trying to do something. And my consciousness was like on this one tall blue feminine figure. Tall, she almost like had a blue veil. That's all I could see, with this tall blue feminine figure, and she was pouring liquid, and I freaked out because of the liquid she was pouring. It was almost like, what are you doing to me? Or what are you going to do to me? And I woke up. I had these dreams 4 nights in a row, and they weren't dreams. Like, I wasn't in another place. I was right there in bed experiencing this reality, and I felt like it was galactics or spirit guides trying to heal parts of my body that needed healing. But I was really, really getting upset when I saw their strange equipment. But this is the kicker. Every morning when I would wake up, after the dream, I'd wake up in the morning and my heart would be tingling and my hands would be tingling. And it'd be such a beautiful, lovely feeling. And I just had to finally, after 4 nights, say, this is not nefarious. Because I really was thinking, is this a nightmare? They aren't nefarious. Everything is okay. They're just healing. They're just healers. And the moment I came to that realization that, oh, everything's okay, they're just healing, because I always wake up feeling this tingling in my hands. The moment I became aware of that and just kind of surrendered to it throughout my day, I stopped having the dreams. Now, whether they packed up ship because this girl is freaking out and we can't do anything with her, or whether I just am not consciously aware of them being there, I probably will never know. But I just feel like this is the experiences that some of us are having at night, where we might be getting assistance and we don't even realize we're getting it. So whatever you do, call for the guides of light, call for your assistance, call for the beings of light, and be open for whatever miracles. Because the feeling I feel in the morning, and it still happened this morning, it happened yesterday morning. I didn't get the dreams, but I got the tingling feeling. So I think that humanity, especially those open, have a lot more assistance than we realize. So say your affirmations, ask God for what you want, tell your spirit guides what you need, ask for the healing, ask for the abundance, communicate, because I think they're listening a whole lot more than we realize. So that's my story for today. So to recap the Ascension predictions, it seems like we're going to have a more gentle hum of Earth's frequency to keep us in more alignment. And it's not going to be so many ups and downs, but we might get higher vibrational hums. The ley lines of Earth are going to be activated. Expect to see a lot more activity in the oceans. And if there is a solar flash, I didn't get a quite answer, but I did get that there is the possibility of a massive amount of energy coming in. But I don't think the ups and downs are going to be there as much. Earth is gaining spiritual dimensions, and it is much easier for galactics and angelics to enter our world and to assist us. Prayers will be answered more quickly in 2026. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. I appreciate your support. Put in the comments if you can, if you're watching the replay, put in the comments what it is that you would like to see different in 2026. What are you leaving behind in 2025? Yes, what are you leaving behind? Now, next Sunday, we are going to be doing at 12:30 p.m. Next Wednesday will be at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We are going to afternoon videos, and there's a chance that I might do other things coming on. But for right now, I'm going to do afternoon videos. Richard says, Jason Q had a similar experience but would have strange marks on his injured hand that got better. Interesting. Now in 2024, I did get strange marks on my body. My mother always called them raspberries, but there's these like little red dots that appear, and they don't hurt, but they're like little red bright spots on your body. And I would notice them all over my hands, like they're still there, all over my hands and my arms. So I don't know if that was just changes in the atmosphere or in my body, but definitely the marks are fascinating if you get marks. I still don't know if they were because of the angelic realm, but I do think that there are going to be more actual occurrences and more evidences of spiritual connection and spiritual beings on Earth. Fascinating today. If you want to be on my email list, I am beginning to give little energetic updates in my email and then sending the link to my video if you like to join the live or watch the replay, but have it in an email. And then I share a little bit about what's going on, what I'm feeling and experiencing, and what to expect for the week as well in those email updates. So go ahead. You can find me on violetflame.net, and you can join up here. Let me share that. You can join me here on my website, violetflame.net/sign up, and you get a little download freebie as well. If you are interested, I mentioned that in 2026, I mentioned that you are going to be challenged in your focus. You're going to be asked by God and the universe, the path that you're on, Do you still want to continue this path? Is this the best path for you? And if you're interested in getting ahead of that question so that you don't face the intensity of exploring a new job, a new career, a new relationship, I want to introduce to you this. Manifest Your Destiny course is something that I created that I use with my clairvoyance to see your future and then to manifest a new life with yourself. It's split into 2 parts. You will discover your life purpose and get clarity, and then using meditation practices for no more than 15 minutes and meditation no more than 30 minutes a day, you can quantum leap into the future new you. The first part is actually, let me go ahead and share this. The first part is actually you clearing. It says you are entering a portal to the most exhilarating chapters in your life. You are more powerful than you think. What you desire, you can have. So first we launch your purpose and we talk about clearing to manifest. We awaken to the frequencies of light using light language and settling your nervous system. We then activate your chakras. We heal the past, heal childhood wounds, heal generational patterns, and then we reset it with affirmations and meditations to release negative emotions. From there, we get to know yourself. We actually dare to dream and identify what you really want to do with your life, and we quantum leap to your future. From here, we will actually begin to explore listening to the universe, listening to your higher self, and learning to hear inner guidance from your spirit guides. And we go all the way up till module 10, where we take action and continue to 11 and 12. We identify your next level self. If you are interested in manifesting your future, this is the course for you. And I have 2 options for you, but the best option is where you go through the online course and you supplement it with clairvoyant readings, where you actually get to ask spirit through the cards and say, what's serving me? What's not serving me? What's my future? Where should I focus? And so on and so forth. So I wish you the best. I hope that you truly get to go through this year with the most love, excitement, joy, peace, and support that you are worthy of. Don't forget to ask for help. You're worth it. Have a good